new Space Engineers solo survival series. In this series, I will be doing assorted things, and just to start things off, I'm going over the settings that I'm using for this world. I have inventory size set to X10, assembler efficiency and refinery speed at X3, welding and grinding speed to X2. Maximum objects, floating objects in the world is at 512. That may probably change occasionally over time as the situation warrants. I have the world size set to unlimited, using default cooldowns, 30-kilometer view distance, a 4-hour day duration. Auto healing is on because I think it's reasonable to gradually regain health over time when you're not taking damage. Of course, weapons are enabled. Trash auto removal is off right now, but I will probably turn it on at some point. Oxygen is on. Respawn ships are not disabled. The jetpack is on. Voxel destruction is on, of course. Just delete respawn ship is on, which means the respawn ship that I start the game with will be deleted when I exit the game or cause another one to be spawned in, like if I should die or something. And there's thruster damage, cargo ships, in-game scripts, third-person view, sun rotation, spawn with tools, enable spectator, destructible blocks, of course. Tool shake is off, as is head bob, because those things make me sick. Random encounters, station voxel support, which means a station must be anchored to an asteroid, otherwise it will drift just like a ship would. I do not start in a respawn screen, and I have enabled drones turned off for the time being until such time as I'm prepared to deal with them. And now to get into the game and get going. So here we are in a brand new Space Engineers world, right here in the initial starter ship that you spawn in to begin with. You can see it's not in the best of shape. It actually looks like it's been through some bad times. Anyway, let's see, the first thing I'm going to do here, just for grins here, I'm going to go to the GPS, create a new bookmark for the current position, just so that I have that available and don't have to display it right now. Alright, this is the ship I start with, and I need to find a place to build a first base. And let's turn that on, turn the inertial dampening on, so that we don't get going too fast and collide with something, because that would be really not good. And it looks to me like there's a good place to start building right there. Alright. Yes, a cave opening in the side of the asteroid. That's going to be just great. As long as I don't manage to collide with one of these other asteroids. Alright. Let's see if I can navigate the ship into that opening. It looks big enough. Yeah, I would say it is. All right. Now, because I have delete respawn ship turned on, this ship will not still be here. Deformed floor. let's get out the welder, grinder, hand drill, and flatten out this floor a little bit so that I can actually navigate through here. And the first thing I need to do, really, is to start taking the ship apart. Because, like I said, because of my settings, once I leave this game session, this ship will not be available anymore at all anyway. So, start taking things apart and use the components to begin building a base. All right, let's see here. All right, let's have some light armor blocks on the bar here. We'll just start. Let's see. A new station. And that'll work right there. Anchored in this asteroid. Just start with building a little bit of a platform to work from. Interestingly located right in iron ore. Probably will end up moving things later, but you need at least a temporary place to start, because I'm not going to have that too awfully long. All right. Well, there's nothing for it but to start grinding the ship away, and just to prevent it from tumbling away, things like the gyroscope, which controls its turning ability, and one thruster in each direction I will leave on here so that it will be able to hold its position until I don't need them anymore. Let's see. Start grinding these things apart. Whoops, I just made my first mistake. Lost some components because I wasn't paying attention to how much inventory I have. Yeah, alright, let's get this stuff stowed. Fortunately, through the conveyor system, I can access the small cargo container here. Get this stuff out of my inventory. In fact, I have no raw materials. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Let's see, interior plate made from iron. So I just take something that is made from iron, say some of these construction components, put them in the assembler, go to the production tab, select disassembling, and I'm just going to go ahead and disassemble all of those. And actually I can stop there and go ahead and make some interior plate. At least as many as I can with what's available right there. Alright. That's enough to start. Go ahead. Switch back to disassembly and let that finish. I needed the interior plate because that is an ingredient in small cargo container. Need that to build one, and that's the next thing. First thing I need to build, so that I have a place to put this stuff. Okay. Alright, now construction components, I need 35 of those. Alright, I'm going to be doing some back and forth here to get this cargo container built, and then as I disassemble the ship, a lot of the components will be placed in that cargo container, at least temporarily. Okay, I need, what is that? Metal grids, small steel tubes, and motors. Actually, I wonder, no, I can't do that. I was going to take apart the cargo container in the ship, but it's loaded with stuff. All right. Metal grid. I need nickel. Okay, I'm going to have to mine some nickel and cobalt to have the material to do this stuff with. Let's see. Cobalt is not a problem. That's what this brown-gray stuff is. So I'll just mine a good bunch of that, holding T to pick it up as it's mined. And there seems to be a little bit of glitching through the textures here a little bit. There have been some problems with asteroid rendering in recent versions, but I don't think it's going to be a major issue. That should be more than enough cobalt. I will get that into the refinery. Let it start refining. Well, I go prospecting for nickel. And I believe this should be nickel. Right there. Yes, it is. Okay. Hopefully I won't have to do very much manual mining by hand, because that is painfully slow and a royal pain in the butt, because a lot of what you mine goes flying away. How much have I got? Let's get a little more. Piece. Okay. Now get back to the ship, get this stuff mined, or refining. And I picked up some iron too. Good. All right. I will be back when this stuff has refined enough to do something with it. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to head around to these little asteroids out here, see what other materials I can find. All right, after a little bit of looking around, I did find a decent amount of uranium. And I've got some here in the refinery being refined right now. Necessary because the ship currently has enough fuel to run for 5 hours, and that's not very much, especially when you start doing things like maneuvering around. It uses the fuel a whole lot faster. Now, I'm backing out of this hole here because it occurred to me there is an easier way to mine. Let's see. It's up on one of these asteroids that I found it. Well, these are almost like moonlets. There it is, that patch of black there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the ship close to it. And then rotate the ship like so, so that the uranium is effectively below the ship. Zoom out a little bit here. Move the ship down a little bit. Like so. That should be good right there. Alright. And now from in here, I go to the control panel and select the gravity generator. And I'm going to extend the field in the gravity generator and increase the thing to produce, say, 0.3 gravity. Now, the gravity field will include this. So I can come down here, turn my suit jetpack off, and actually stand here. Although it will be more convenient to fly. Just mine through here. And what I mine should travel down and stay here, where I can then pick it up. Oh, right. It's been a little while now. I've got enough uranium refined. You can see in the lower right corner I've got 1 day's worth of fuel time now. And there's still more to refine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to production, no, control panel, the assembler, turn it off, and refinery, turn it off. And that gives me a lot more fuel time. But what I'm going to do now that my fuel situation is not a really huge issue, I have to note that the hydrogen supply in my suit is at 62.8%. And that's all there is. Now the oxygen generator will make hydrogen, but I need hydrogen bottles in order to get that into my suit. To make hydrogen bottles, I need silver. That is the one element I have not found any of yet. So, it's time to go ahead and start taking the rest of the ship apart, because I need to use the components to build a mining ship, to go looking for silver and to mine it. So, what I'm going to do is grind this ship up, disassemble all the components, and store most of it in this cargo container. And then, well, except for things like the refinery, I will set that up on the platform. Same thing for the assembler, the oxygen generator, and the reactor. Everything else comes down and goes into the cargo container so that I can use it to build a ship, a mining ship. I have got a large part of the ship taken apart and stored in the cargo container there. And I've reached a point now where, having removed the gyro, if I remove the last of the thrusters or the reactor, the ship will not be able to maintain position, and if it gets bumped, it will start drifting away. So I'm thinking that maybe I can do this in an interesting way here. I hope. It's some light armor blocks and extend the platform out this way beneath the ship. And these blocks don't even have to be finished right now. They just have to be there as a platform. Okay. Directly beneath the ship. Now, I switch to the grinder, and I go over here to the gravity generator, and I grind it away and rebuild it on the platform. Making sure not to overfill my inventory and have valuable components spilling out on the ground. Okay. Gravity generator. That's as good a place as any. Start welding it back up. And then finish disassembling the one off of the ship. Let's see. Go ahead. When you start welding on something, it automatically puts whatever components of that device into it, and then the welding completes the assembly. Okay. Inventory full again. Weld them in there. Alright. Now I just need to get the gravity components, some construction components. The gravity generator components are kind of big in terms of mass. Fills the inventory fast. Alright. Just a few more bits. And the next thing to do is to disassemble the reactor on the ship, which will leave it drifting without power. Reassemble the reactor here on the platform, put fuel in it, and start the gravity generator, which will then cause the ship to land on the platform, as long as I don't bump it while disassembling the reactor. First, very important, remove the fuel. The ship is now dead. The slightest bump will send it drifting. Let's get the inventory cleared out so I have enough room to hold the reactor, and try to grind it away without touching it, or without bumping into it at least. Watching my inventory volume.
Energy low.
This is a really bad time for that. Because right at the moment, I have no way to restore suit energy. Alright, power box. Small reactor. Weld it back up. And the very next thing I need to do is to get the flight seat. Suit energy goes to 0. That's just the same as oxygen going to 0. Game over. Alright, there's enough of it there to work. Power that on. Gravity generator is on. Is it? Well, it's enabled. It's on. Gravity 1G.
Energy low.
Yes, energy is very low. I need the flight seat. This will allow me to recharge. All right. Over here on the platform, anywhere. Flight seat. Let's have it facing outward just for giggles. Weld that up and then use it, because sitting in the flight seat will recharge the suit.
Energy.
Well, it'll recharge the energy. Oh, it just occurred to me. Stop right there. That's enough of it for it to work. Alright, suit energy is recharging. Very good. Now, gravity generator, well, the ship is technically touching the platform. And yes, the lighting seems to be a little bit odd. But the ship apparently is not going anywhere. And that's the important part. I can now continue with disassembly, getting everything off of the ship. And I'll be back when I've got it all. I've got everything taken apart except for the refinery. And in doing that, I realized something. Artificial gravity generators do not affect anything but players and floating loose objects, but ships and such are not affected by them. And so I've been very fortunate that I've been being very careful with my maneuvering, because I don't want to run out of the hydrogen fuel. Anyway, having gotten everything else down, it's time to start placing some stuff to get on the way to getting things built. So we'll start by placing an assembler. And let's see. There, that's better. And I need to look. Yeah, there's a. And I need to have that port clear, so. Let's see. Yeah, alright, that'll work. Go ahead and get this sucker welded up, and then place the refinery and build it up by tearing that one down and building up the new one on the station. Then I'll need to get the oxygen generator in gear. Then, once those things are set, I need to build a small mining ship, because my days of mining by hand are over. Just as soon as I get things put together here. Alright. Now let's see. Still have some steel plates on me. Good. Alright. Refinery time. And let's rotate that around. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Well. Yeah. Alright. Now it's just a matter of weld this up as I grind this one down. And that way my inventory doesn't get overfull and lose components. Oh, I forgot. There was stuff in that refinery. That was not so slick. Some of that stuff is uranium that I need. So, oh, down here.
Inventory full.
Inventory full. Well, let's finish welding this thing up. Put that stuff in it. Alright, refinery complete. Yeah, there's an access port on top. And it's working. There was another bit there. Okay. All right. The bare bones of the station is built. Let's see. Oxygen generator. You know what would make sense? Another light armor block. Right there. Go ahead and finish that one up. And oxygen generator right on it. Yeah, that'll work. And even if it's not ideal, I can set up another one elsewhere in a better position later. Right now, it just simply needs to be built on the station. And available to work. Alright, 2 tubes, 4 motors, 5 computers. Large steel tube, not the small ones. There we go. All right. One more thing to get out of here. The ice. Now I can take my... Oh, that's right. No conveyor system yet. So I get my oxygen bottles and and store them in here in the oxygen generator so that they will be refilled. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to go ahead and start the construction here, and I'll build this thing between episodes. And next episode, I'll introduce you to the very first mining ship. Objective Silver. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.